Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we have a great episode for you guys, so make sure you stick around for this one. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as y'all know, the Lakers are currently in the process of kind of picking up the pieces and kind of figuring things out going into next season. They're currently in search of their next head coach because they fired Frank Vogel with 2 games left to go in the regular season. I'm sure most of you already abreast of that information. And some of the candidates that have been brought forth or that have been mentioned have not inspired a lot of optimism, especially with big voices in the media. For example, people like Stephen A. Smith said that he feels as if the Lakers should have done a better job going out there trying to recruit a big name coach. But as I said prior in one of our shows, there aren't any real big name coaches out there right now. Recently, we heard some news where some speculated that the Lakers are going to go after Doc Rivers, but after USA Today released a report, and they basically said that the Sixers leadership are looking to retain Doc Rivers, which means that he's not going to be a candidate for a head coaching job for the Los Angeles Lakers. And y'all know that Juwan Howard recently turned the team down. So according to some latest reports out there, it seems that the guy that they want to go with, or that they're leading towards, or that's probably leading for the head coaching job, is Darvin Ham, and he looks to be the guy that's going to most likely get the job. But just yesterday, a big story came out via The Athletic, if I'm not mistaken, where Magic Johnson basically said that he wants the Lakers to retain Russell Westbrook and make good with him and all of these different things. And Shannon Sharpe got wind of that news on Undisputed yesterday, skipping Shannon's Undisputed, and he totally went into a frenzy over that news. So for those of you who missed some of the comments that Shannon Sharpe had to say, make about that, about that news, we want to play a little bit of it here. Then we're going to come back and actually get into an article, a latest report that has come out that I think is going to be even worse news for Shannon Sharpe. So take a listen to that, and then we're going to come back here and react to it. Take a listen to that.
The Athletic, Magic Johnson said the Lakers are better off keeping Russell Westbrook. Magic said he talked to the Lakers brass and that he recommended they keep the guard and focus on making sure their new head coach, yes, is willing to make it work. Shannon, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I bet you don't love this idea.
How? I just don't know how. Skip, some things you use for what they're for. I mean, I can't take a shower curtain and make it a blanket. No more than I can make a blanket a shower curtain, because that's not what it was used for. They make it seem like Frank Vogel didn't try to make it work. But when the process of trying to make something work, someone has to be amenable to that. Skip, if I take a job and the job requires me to work at night, I can't get upset when I got to go to work at night. I got to be willing to say, you know what? I signed up for the night shift. I got the graveyard shift. This is what it is. When Russ signed up, he had to be willing to accept being the third option. Russ is unwilling to accept that. It's LeBron, AD, Russ. Russ has never had to be a third option. Make it work how? What are you going to do? The way to make it work, if you want to make it with Russ, you're going to probably need to move LeBron. Put the ball in Russ' hands and say, Russ, play like you did at Washington, play like you did at OKC after KD left. Other than that, Skip, I don't see how it works. How many more years does Magic think he has of LeBron? You just wasted year 19. Are you willing to waste year 20? Because I don't see how Russ works. He doesn't shoot the ball well enough. His athleticism is waning. And I get all the other players in the NBA coming to Russ' defense. They come to his defense because they don't have to play with him. It's easy to come to someone's defense, Skip, when you're not in that situation. I just don't see how it works. I didn't think it was going to work. I said if there was a smidging that it could work, it was because of Bron. I just don't see how it works. I just don't. Who misses the playoffs and then bring damn near basically the same team back intact? I know a lot of the guys, Skip, that were on one-year contracts, probably not going to come back. But even the Mavericks, losing like this, they're not bringing that core back.
Now, as y'all heard, Shannon Sharpe did not hide he didn't hide his feelings one bit. He was just not going for it. He was totally unhappy. And now it looks as if, according to a latest report from CBSSports.com, that he's in for some more bad news. And I think this article is going to pretty much send him out of his chair. So let me get into this article here. Starts off with the headline: Lakers have no intention of giving up first-round pick to trade Russell Westbrook, per report. Article continues on. A year ago, the Los Angeles Lakers wanted Russell Westbrook badly enough to give up a first-round pick and several rotational players to land him in a draft day deal with the Washington Wizards. Since then, his value has plummeted. He has had a disastrous debut season in the Los Angeles Lakers, punctuated by an exit interview lacking any shred of self-awareness. Westbrook just had the worst season of his career and refused to accept an ounce of blame for it. Now he's the sort of player who a team should have to give up a draft picks just to get rid of him. But the Lakers appear unwilling to do so. According to The Athletic, they have no intention, quote unquote, to include a first-round pick in a deal just to dump Westbrook. What exactly that means is unclear. If they are unwilling to include a pick in a deal that would purely dump Russell Westbrook, that may be a defensible position. Getting rid of Russell Westbrook would be only one small step towards fixing what went wrong last season. And the article continues on. I've been reading a lot this morning, so my eyes are starting to hurt. So basically, that's what the article had to say there. So here are my thoughts on this entire story and situation. I think this thing is a mess. It is one big mess. And I think we are in for more of what we saw last season, this coming season. I don't see how this situation is going to improve going forward, if we're being honest. As y'all are fully aware at this point, the Lakers were a very bad defensive team last year. A very bad defensive team. And the question to you guys is this: what bit of news have you heard this offseason that would indicate to you that the Lakers are working on resolving that issue? The only two bits of information we heard all offseason is the information with the getting a new coach and Phil Jackson, and now this situation with Russell Westbrook. Those are the only two pieces of news that we've heard that indicates that this team is, trying to make some moves going into next season. That's all. I haven't heard anything that addresses some of their personnel issues, which is the number one problem that they had. Listen, the Lakers were a very, very, very old basketball team to begin with. That's number one. Number two, I think playing defense I think those guys basically, just thumbed their nose to defense. They were like, this is above me. LeBron ain't going to play no defense at 37, 38 years old. Russell Westbrook never played defense. Carmelo Anthony is not known for being a defensive stalwart. So a lot of your best players on that team are not even known for playing defense, and some of them are not going to play defense because of their advanced age. That's the first problem. Then you want to come back come into the offseason and go into next season and exacerbate the problem by bringing back the exact same cast of characters and somehow expecting a different result. That's the point that Shannon Sharpe was making. I don't see how retaining Russell Westbrook and running this thing back is going to somehow yield a different result. I don't see it. Now, some people are holding on to the line of, not even some people, even some of the Lakers players. Anthony Davis was using it as an excuse. Magic Johnson called him out on it. LeBron James said that the season was a success and we're injured. Some of these guys are under the impression that, the reason that we underperformed last season wasn't because we were a terrible defensive team. No. That's not the reason. The reason we did bad was because, we were injured. Well, if that's the case, then please help me understand how the Denver Nuggets were able to make it into the playoffs without Jamal Murray, how the Los Angeles Clippers were able to capture the 8th seed without Kawhi Leonard not playing a single dribble for that team the entire season and Paul George missing 2/3 of the entire basketball season. Somehow they made it into the playoffs with the Miami Heat. They were top seed, made it into the play-in. The Miami Heat had 9 undrafted basketball players on their team. They're currently in the Eastern Conference Finals. So explain to me how those teams did it when all of them had to battle through injuries. But meanwhile, the Lakers, no, it's a unique case. Those teams, it's a different story. For us, our reason is that we were injured. But meanwhile, other teams were able to make it work with the injuries that they had. Listen, I think this thing is not going to get better. Number one, if you're banking on Anthony Davis coming back, that's it's just a bunch of wishful thinking at this point. Something new needs to happen for this team to get a different result. And to me, based on what I'm hearing right now, it doesn't seem like the Lakers are serious about doing anything substantive, based on what I've heard. So what I want to know from you guys is this: What do you think about this latest report? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.